Stage 4 is a stage of discovery. And to get to the stage of discovery, we must lose the labels. Lose the label of ex-witness. You're who you are. You get to define yourself brand new. Whatever way you want to define yourself moving forward, that's up to you, but lose that label. It's like a man that keeps calling himself an ex-con trying to get a job. Most ex-witnesses define themselves by the religion still. Lose the label. Allow yourself to write a brand new story. Wipe the chalkboard clean and look at everything from fresh eyes. What do you believe? You see, a lot of people, the pendulum goes all the way, right, from being a witness to being an atheist. It just goes all the way. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody what they need to believe. But you don't need to have your definition of God be what it was when you were a witness. Wipe the chalkboard clean and look at everything with brand new, fresh eyes. Allow yourself to discover something new. Allow yourself to discover a new version of you. Life is wonderful. Cut the ties. And stage 5 is a stage of self-knowing, where you know what you believe, where you're comfortable with you. That's a wonderful place to be. Now, why do so many people get stuck in their programming? How does your mind work? Well, right now I'm going to describe some of the things that people go through in their struggles, and most of it's mental. Your mind is programmed by the time you are 8 years old. The way you see the world, the template you look through, is programmed by the time you are 8 years old. This is why kids believe it's Santa Claus till they're about that age. You see, before that age, you don't have a filter. You can't filter information. So when somebody of authority tells you something, you instantly believe it. And for a lot of you that were ex-witnesses, you were raised that way. And trust me, if you were raised in Iraq, you'd be a Muslim, and you would tell me the Quran was the word of God. You see, we are simply, as yous, products of our programming. And we have no filter. Now, what happens is when we have these authorities or the world that we live in that stamps on our minds that this is the way the world is, that filter does not develop in that area still. That's why the witnesses could say, we got new light. Okay. They can say anything they want. Okay. Because we don't filter it. We have 3 components of our minds: the conscious, the subconscious, and the creative subconscious. We like to think that we are what we consciously think, and that's the furthest from the truth. Our mind's like an iceberg. You see what's above the water, but what's under the water is much bigger. We're a product of our subconscious wiring. And until we rewire our minds, we struggle. You see, brother right there was saying, you forget even being a witness, right? Sometimes, right? Because he rewired his mind. He rewired his mind. And that's what the rest of us who are struggling with that need to do, to rewire the mind. This is how your mind works. Your subconscious mind has file cabinets in it. And every drawer is a different subject of life. And in that drawer are files that have been put there during your lifetime. The files that are most important and the files that are closest to the front are the things that you did in the most repetition. That's why if you're right-handed and you tie your shoe, you don't think about it. Now, you might just be thinking, of course I know how to tie my shoe. Well, tie it with your left hand. You'll find you have to think about it because your brain's not wired to do it that way. So when I say, what did you do in repetition in your life the most? Have you ever done anything as repetitious as what you did as a witness? They are very repetitious, over and over and over again. So the reason why people get stuck is because those files from the witnesses are still there. And when your conscious mind goes to work and has a new belief, a new idea, a new philosophy, for instance, how many of you, after you left the organization, walked into another church and it was the weirdest thing and you shook and you, I shouldn't be here, right? It was weird. Some of you, the first time you typed in something that they called apostate, your hands were shaking. You thought the devil was sitting right next to you. That's wiring. It's just programming. So the way your mind works is when you have a thought or idea or something consciously, it goes from the conscious to the subconscious for an analysis. So to open the drawer of that subject matter and grab the file that's closest to the front, and then it analyzes the two pieces of information, and it'll come to a decision based on what's in the subconscious mind. So when we find ourselves sabotaging ourselves in life, where we can't get ahead, where we're blowing opportunity, we wonder why we feel so stuck, and we're ruining relationships and ruining, financial opportunities, all kinds of stuff. It's because what we consciously think and what we subconsciously think are out of alignment. And our subconscious tends to win. They say close to 85% of all NBA basketball players go broke 3 to 5 years from retirement. And let me tell you why that is. You ever notice that a lot of hoopsters and new celebrities, wherever they travel around, they got a posse of like 20 guys? It's because their mentality is not one of wealth yet. So they keep what they're used to around them. They haven't accepted subconsciously wealth. So they're not wealthy. They're a poor man making a lot of money. There's a difference. So when your conscious life or your reality does not match your subconscious wiring, the third component of your mind, which is the creative subconscious, and it has one job. The creative subconscious job is to make your subconscious correct about whatever it believes. That person will subconsciously get rid of all his money to go back to his comfort zone. And that's what a lot of people do when they run back to their organization, right? They're going back to their comfort zone. It has nothing to do with belief. It doesn't matter. They're just ignoring that. I got to get back to my comfort zone. So if we really truly want to change in life, it's about putting new files to the front of every drawer in those cabinets. And all that Jehovah's Witness stuff, you put it in a box and you put it in the attic like your 2009 taxes. And you let the dust settle on those boxes. See, you can't really get rid of stuff out of your mind, but you can make it non-important. You can make it where you don't pull it up again. So this is how your mind works. And if we understand that, then we can program our own mind. It's what we do in repetitions.